All right guys, I got a short one for you today, but this one could save you a lot of money. So the other day, I have a pretty large family and I was the last one in line to take showers, and I noticed that I didn't have any hot water, which I figured was just because my kids took, you know, half-hour showers before me. But the next morning, my daughter went to take another shower before she went to work, and no hot water. So I came downstairs and I noticed right away the hot water heater didn't have power to it because it has a digital readout screen. So came over here, opened up the panel, and sure enough, this water heater breaker right here, this 30 amp breaker, was partially in the middle here. It was like not completely off, but it wasn't on. So it had tripped. So this is a really common problem that if you own a house any length of time, you're gonna probably run into this at some point. So over time, what can happen with a breaker is it gets weak. The mechanisms inside of it, especially if it's a breaker that has a lot of power draws on and off and a large amount of power at a time, and a water heater definitely does that. And it makes it very easy to trip. So this is the first time this breaker has tripped, but there's no reason for it to trip. My heater's in good shape, so my first inkling is that this breaker is just getting weak. It's been here probably at least, so we've been here almost 25 years, and it was probably in service for a long time before that. So a breaker can last 20 to 40 years according to the internet. The reason I'm pretty certain about that is because a few years ago, our power kept shutting off. I would come down here and this breaker would be tripped. And at first I thought it was a power company issue, but I started researching it, and even these main breakers after time can get weak and they can trip. So I replaced that main breaker, which is, you know, you would definitely want to know what you're doing. You got to have your main power coming into your house off. This one's a little bit bigger deal, but yeah, I switched that out and I haven't had any problems since. So rather than get caught with no hot water again, like at night or in the morning when I'm trying to get ready for work, we're just going to swap this breaker out because it isn't that much money. So I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. So the first thing you have to do is take out all 6 of these bolts to hold this panel cover on. And I always take the 4 bottom bolts out first. Leave the top 2 in. To call an electrician out to do this, you're probably talking $200 to $500. So once you're getting the top 2 off, keep the cover pressed in so it doesn't just fall on you, and then pull it directly away from your breakers. You don't want any contact with anything in here that might be out of place. So this is the breaker I need right here, but in order to do that safely, I'm gonna go ahead and hit my main breaker off. That's gonna stop the power right up in here. I still have my leads coming in up here, which has that little safe piece of cardboard there covering it up. I'm not sure why they have that there, but your leads will still have power to them, but anything below this will not have power. So we're gonna hit that. It's going to kill all my power for a little bit. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to loosen these 2 wires going into the side here. So on my water heater, I have 220, so that means 110 and 110. So each of these is usually energized, but now the power's off, so it's nothing going to them. To do this safely, you really should get a meter and check. All right, before we start loosening those wires, we're just going to double check and make sure we don't have any power. If you don't feel 100% that you can do this safely, make sure you do call an electrician. It's not worth getting shocked. So I'm going to take and put one on there, take the other one and put it to the neutral bar, nothing. Same thing here, nothing. And I'm going to put them across both of them just to double check, nothing. Since we're going to be handling the wires, we do not want to get shocked. So we just loosen the wires on each one. Once they're loose, you just pull the wires out. And if you have a needle nose or something, that can be helpful to grab these wires and pull them out. Once they're out, all you got to do to get this breaker out, shut it off. Could have did that in the first place. And you just twist it to the side and it just comes right out. So how it hooks in there is it's got these this little catch in this side, and it slides in underneath the connector there, and then you just line it up. Boy, that's not one to go in. Okay, anyway, that's how it's gonna go. The new one's gonna go in. I don't know why those are fighting me so much. So this is my new breaker, and it looks like an exact match. I got the same brand just to be safe. everything looks like it should line up. So there's a little bit of difference in the way they're manufactured, but the slots are in the same place. Spacing looks the same, size of the breaker looks the same, the amps are the same, so it should work. So we're going to just take the new breaker here, slide it in at an angle like that so it can catch underneath that strip on this side. I see why I was going too deep before, that's why I couldn't slide it in. So you don't want to go too deep, but just enough that it catches. There's some catches right there. You want to catch those. And then once those are in, you just push it in and it just slides right in. No big deal. Now we just need to line our wires back up and slide them back in underneath the terminals. You might have to loosen these up a little bit to make sure they slide in all the way. And this is another time when it might be nice to have a needle nose. You want these good and tight. Anytime you have an electrical problem, always check your breaker panel to make sure the breaker didn't trip, because that can give you a sign that something's up. So I'm checking to make sure they're tight in there and I can't pull them out, so that's good. One little last twist. Okay. So now that's all in there correctly. Now, before I turn the power back on, I'm gonna shut some of these breakers off just so I'm not pulling the total amperage of the house all at one time. So I'm just gonna flip these off. This one here, I have tape on it because we don't use it. There's no wire stuck to it. So I'm just flipping everything off. Okay, now I'm gonna flip this one, and this is gonna energize the bottom here. So I always stand off to the side just in case for some reason something goes wrong, I'm not right in front of it. So we flip it on. Power came onto the house with the ones that I left on. These are like the light circuits and stuff like that, not a big deal. Now we're gonna flip these back on. There's nothing hooked to that one, so no reason for that one to be on. Now all that's left to do is to put this cover back on. Be very careful putting it back on that you don't like shove one corner in or something and touch something you shouldn't. So I'm going to just open the door up so I can see, line it up with my large breaker on the top, and that lines me up. It's always good to have a screw in your hand already, which I didn't. And you always want to start these by hand because they're easy to cross thread. Once you got the top two started, then it should stay in place and you can just get the other one started. And while we're in here, and you can see what's on the back of on the inside of the door here, these are the breakers that whenever we have a power outage and I'm running my generator, I don't want to have everything running because my generator won't support it all. I don't have a whole house generator. I just have a Westinghouse, I think it's a 9500 watt. So it does a really good job. But these are the breakers that we need to keep on to make sure nothing goes wrong. Like, obviously it's nice to have water. We want our fridges and freezers to run so we don't have things falling out. And then we want our sump pump to run so that it keeps the water from accumulating in the basement. So that's what that list is. It's the breakers that need to be on during a power outage. So now that we got all of our screws started, we're just going to tighten them up with a screwdriver. These don't have to be super tight. All right, well that should solve our problem with not having hot water. Well guys, hope you got something out of it. Hope you learned something today. If you feel safe enough doing that, that'll save you a lot of money. We'll have to call an electrician. So appreciate you watching, guys. If you like this type of content, think about subscribing to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything and it helps us out. And until next time, good luck with all your projects.